Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Myst 5 End of Ages. Last episode we completed Nolaben, and I've been trying to figure out how to get the fans on to get this done. Turns out, this is only half of that. And those have nothing to do with anything. I don't know what they are. The other half, we gotta get back down, so pardon me a moment while I run all the way back. Just gotta go all the way around. And back here so that I can take that down and go down because I was stupid. Over this way. Take this down again. Turns out there was something I didn't quite realize. If only I'd been a bit more observant. Alright. Now, we're gonna raise the floor again. Now for the other side. Now we press the button and quickly get off before it raises. Now we let it go up, and now we'll be able to get underneath. Through that ladder, I guess. Through this ladder, I guess. Whoa, that's a passage. Well, there's another book here, though. Alright, let's give this a read, or a listen.
Home was far behind. I was no longer a child. I journeyed deep, deep within myself, deep within the earth, down to the Denis cavern. I was alone for a time as I consumed my heritage, breathing deep the air of the cavern and the knowledge of my people. But the desire for companionship drove me mad. I engaged a Cenomar as my confidant, and a treadfish in the harbor became my younger brother. I spoke to them as family, and they answered. I swear, they answered. Then my mind took a final step into madness when I walked into the library on Agura and saw an old Denis man on the floor below me. Now I was imagining people to ease my loneliness. But he was no mirage. His name was Callum, and he was a Denis writer of ages. Trust did not come easily. There was conflict between us, between his ancient rules of Denis that I did not respect, and my creativity, which he feared. We fought and feared and battled and screamed until exhausted. We began to learn from each other. We learned of the power of both, just as father and mother had done. So I learned to write with all the skills that the Denis had known, beyond what my parents had taught me, for their lessons were given by a flawed instructor and by their own trial and error. I learned to write from a master, an opportunity father was never given. Callum's abilities were breathtaking. He knew all the Denis knew when Denis fell. But I taught as well as learned. There were things that the Denis were forbidden to write, words they feared, concepts they shunned, rules and boxes. I had no cultural fear of such things, so I dug deeper, asking questions that Callum could not answer. And together, we sought answers. That is how we learned of the Barrow and the tablet. I learned of its power. We grew in knowledge and strength, and Callum became one of my dearest friends. I began to think that it was he who would be the grower. But evil will find you, even in the depths of the earth. And Callum was murdered.
Well, that's interesting. Don't mind me, I'm just writing this word. I want to try and make out what it is. It'll take a bit to translate, but if I do... something like that. I'm gonna be back in a minute. I want to try and translate this. Alright, after briefly looking through that, I think that might be the word Kepik? I think it's K-E-P-I-K, but I'm not certain. It's hard to tell. Anyway, we have a path over here that we can take. This must be the other way to turn on the fans down there. Well, let's turn this. Whoa! Oh! Hello, ladder. Yes, thank you, that was needed. But what is this, then? Ah, this is the other side. And now we can open that up. Well, good. Now we have another book here. Let's hear it.
Power is a gift. Power is a curse. I learned of the fearsome power I wield on that day. The day of Callum's death. In a fit of rage, I destroyed the murderer, and I destroyed my innocence. And again, I learned that most things cannot be returned to how they were. And my power continued to grow even as I began to see that the prophecies of the grower might speak of me. My destiny began to be fulfilled. But there was still more. The least, abused, mistreated, misunderstood, ignored. They were mocked and scorned, and their hearts still show their pain. But they continue to serve. Such power they have, and yet they serve. They treated me with kindness, and I learned from them. They respected what I was becoming. With them, I learned new laws, new rules, and new powers. I used the powers to care for a tree to come, and the tablet allowed me to grow beyond Tiana, beyond father and mother, beyond Denis, beyond Callum. The tablet held them. The tablet chained them. The tablet held me. The tablet empowered me. I watched with them. I waited with them. I learned with them. I called them from captivity and grew while they gathered. Together we became both weak and strong. And then my time came. My time to take the tablet. My time to choose. I was ready. I felt the pull of holding it, of channeling and releasing the full power of the Barrow. I would right the wrongs. I would set things the way they should be. I would choose well. I could not fail. I am the grower. I was so sure, so strong, so wise. But I didn't open myself and listen to the Maker. The noise of me drowned his quiet voice. And I failed. failed to see anything beyond myself and what was obvious. And pain came quickly when I realized what I had done. The tablet returned and the Barrow continued to serve. The pain still burns me. But the powerful Barrows simply wait and serve. Pain is often how we learn. But it is not for us to give. We are not the teachers. We must not abuse them. We must not abuse the Barrow.
Interesting. So I didn't speak of the previous book. The previous book spoke of when Yeesha went down to the city and stayed there until she started going mad, but then she found a Dunny master at writing words, at writing ages. And from him she managed to learn, and thanks to his knowledge, she was able to write ages. And thanks to the fact she wasn't bound by the laws and fears of the Dunny people, she was actually able to, whatever it's called. She was actually able to write things that others didn't. Then, after Callum died, she managed to find the Barrow and learn of them. And, well, managed to learn more under them. And that's how she became such an incredible writer. I just realized, at the end of the original campaign in Uru, she managed to bring rain back to the desert. The Barrow did that in Nolaben. So she did learn from the Barrow. She really did. Alright, let's keep moving. There's a path there. Oh, here we have another book.
How could I have not seen the true path? I see it now so clearly. But can I get another chance to make things right? They came to Denis, those who felt called. I knew they would. I was prepared for them, and I pointed the way. I spoke often of the pride of Denis, of their belief in their own power and strength, and the reason that Denis once fell. And a few understand, and they begin to follow me. I am the grower. I would lead them to rebuild. Yet another burden. But what is the task of a grower? My father wrote Another Age, but I see that the tree is not a place, but a people. The heart of a people. That is what must grow. If only I had another chance to make things right. The tablet is the key. How could I have failed?
Yeah, the last book, not the one I just read, the last book spoke of when she took the quest for the tablet. She did it, she did something with it, but it apparently wasn't the right thing, and the tablet returned. She messed up. And because of that, she can't use the tablet anymore. She was so sure of herself, like the Dunny were, that she succumbed to the arrogance. We have one book left here. And this last one was when she saw Uru had begun again. Uru had become alive once more. The people were coming back, but it was all explorers, humans. And that seems to be the one hope she has, the one chance she has to get things right again. Let's see what happens in the last book.
I know what to do. I see it so clearly. One more chance to determine the destiny of the tablet. I can feel it. To be so close, and yet so powerless, it drives me mad. The tablet sits there, holding the power of the Barrow captive, and I alone know what to do. I failed once, but what does that mean? Why am I punished when I could accomplish so much? The rules seem so arbitrary, some game of the Maker that only he understands. This legacy of failure. And now I see this final chance to right generations of wrong, to unleash the power that has been held for thousands of years. It is at my fingertips. I know what must be done, but I cannot speak of it for fear that it would somehow break the rules, tarnish the heart, taint the act, soil the innocence. I had a dream. I am carrying the seed of Denis, the seed of all things that are Denis, through a small cave. I come to a place where the path stops. And there are two holes, one above me and one below me. And through the hole below, I can see the Denis cavern in the great city. And through the hole above, I can see the sky and sun. A voice calls to me. In which hole will you plant the seed? And I know it is easy to drop the seed in the hole below. And I know it is impossible to throw the seed through the hole above. I call out to the voice, asking for wisdom. And the voice answers me. Do not drop the seed in the hole below, for that is easy. But that is the way of the past. Do not throw the seed in the hole above, for that is difficult, and that is the task for another. In which hole will you plant the seed? And I know what to do. And I know I am the grower.
Interesting. I don't know what this is, but that's the last book she has. Let me see if there's a message here first.
What am I left with? Why did he leave this weight on me? Did I ask for this? Did I ask to lose my brothers? Did I ask to cause the death of Callum? Did I ask to watch my mother die? Did I ask to be my father's tool? Did I ask for so much power? Did I ask to be so alone? Father, I wish you could hold me.
Man, you really do kind of have to feel sorry for Yeesha after all this. I mean, I said it once before, I'll say it again. That must be the way through to get deeper into the city itself, but you really do kind of have to feel sorry for her when you think about it. I mentioned before how all of Atrus's family had to deal with... They all had their problems. Gen himself was... He was mad with power. He believed himself a god. After all, he could create ages, create entire worlds. All these worlds with these people at his fingertips. He made them. He was a god. And thus he developed a god complex. Cirrus and Aknar were greedy and violent. One killed as many as he could. And that was his pleasure. The other lusted for treasure, lusted for money, and he desired that above all else. And their greed led to their own downfall, but one did eventually redeem himself a bit, while the other, well, it led even further to his own destruction and his desire for revenge. Catherine herself, we read in her journal, she was part of her people, but then she was picked by Atrus to be his wife, and that changed how she was perceived in the eyes of everyone else. She was seen as the chosen, the prophet, or the wife of a god, and that separated her from her people, turned her into something so far, and even she managed to fall into that belief a little bit at the start. Not a prophet, a messiah, something like that. She became something else. And now Yeesha. Yeesha is... As she became more powerful, as she learned more, she became believing she was some sort of grower, some sort of oracle or prophet. She gained a messiah complex of her own. Similar to her mother, except... while her mother was forced into it by others believing, you were chosen by God, She saw it because she was becoming so powerful and recognized it herself. She was putting herself into all this. And even now, she can't stop the way she talks. She still talks like she's some kind of prophet or oracle or this grower. It's hard to get any straight answers out of her. And Atris. He's the one who's just been dealing with all this. With everything he tries to fix it. He loved his wife. He regretted his children. He felt terrible about entrapping his father, and now he missed his daughter. And for all we know, she could be dead. He could be dead now. He very well could be. He's lived so long. I don't know how long he lived before the stranger arrived on Myst Island. And it's been 200 years since that happened. Doesn't he live so long? He could be dead just from old age now. His mother Tiana is the only one I don't know much about, and she's always shown in the best light. There must be something, but I don't know what. One age remains. Let's open the doors so we can link all four. And come the next episode, we'll go into this fourth age, whatever it is. Till then, I'm Chester44. This has been a Let's Play of Myst 5 End of Ages, and I shall see you all next time.